Oh yeah! Let's go Oconee! Princess on the mic, dropping knowledge bombs, making things feel right. Kathy's got the scoop, she's a local delight. Ronnie sharing stories, shining bright tonight. Hey, hey! That's a Jazzy Jeff with the funk in the air. Every word's a treasure like a county fair. Dive deep in the cover with the funky flair. Oconee's in the house, we're beyond compare. Get down, let's talk, let's groove, let's get it on.
Well, good afternoon into the evening hours. It's a few minutes before the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. Jazzy Jeff, along with Chris Ruing, and our other cast of characters should be here at any moment, we hope. Randy is on his way.
Don't worry, I'm still here.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I figured you
Man,
could,
I love those jams.
Yeah, I like that stuff, huh?
I can't help it, man.
I've got I'm pretty good at that. Boy, I tell you what, let's talk Oconee. We have PO'd the county, hadn't we?
Oh, God, I don't know. I don't know why. And here I am with this plastic tube moon necklace, knowing that I'm going to be doing solid 24 karat gold next year, and I'm just practicing.
Well, stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit about development this evening. We also are going to address in a very respectful way the issue that happened just a couple of days ago with the assassination attempt with President Donald Trump. We're going to talk a little about that, and I'm kind of going to give you a little bit of an opinion of what I think and how I feel about that. So we hope that you'll stay with us. Again, tonight it's county council meeting, and we're looking forward to a barn burner, to say the least. We will check in with that with all the information coming up, but hope that you'll stay with us here. Some news and notes. They have pulled a body from Lake Hartwell. I believe that was either yesterday or today this morning. That was about 12 to 15 feet back up on Lake Hartwell near the Harts Cove area. And they are going to do an autopsy on the body. It was a male that they pulled from about 12 to 15 feet of water. So that's some of the news headlines that are making things.
I gotta get the doorbell.
And it's been hot. It has been very hot. Okay. All right. Well, Chris is going to go get the doorbell, and all the other folks are waiting.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, Chris. We'll forgive you this time. I think I can handle it for once. I'm good at that. You're welcome. So stay tuned. We're going to go live to Walhalla, South Carolina, to the Pine Street Administration Complex. We get ready for this evening as we get ready for the county council meeting, and we'll come back here on Let's Talk Oconee and have a couple of information segments for you here this evening. So glad to have you with us here, and hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I know that it's warm out there, but there is some good news in the weather forecast. Some things are going to be changing, and hopefully that will be a good sign for us here. So we're awaiting the start of the county council meeting, and just as soon as that begins, we will send you up to Walhalla. And again, stay with us right here as always. You can check out any one of our shows, past shows, by going to our website at letstalkoconeesc.com. And again, that all the information, our current shows, you can watch on a YouTube channel and here on the Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Walhalla, South Carolina.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming out. We got a good crowd tonight. The time is 6 p.m., July 16th, 2024. I call to order this regular scheduled Oconee County Council meeting. Let's begin with a moment of silence. David Root, who is visiting with us via the telephone, to lead us in prayer.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Dearest Father, thank you for this day. Beautiful day. Another day on earth, but not a day that we were promised, so we're grateful for the gift. I pray that you create in us truly appreciative hearts, that we see the gifts you give us and the opportunities you give us to help our neighbor and to do the right thing, and that we would be appreciative and follow your lead. Thank you also for council, their willingness to serve. I just pray that you bless them in that service, and tonight that you give them your guidance, give them your direction and your wisdom so they can make decisions that would benefit the county and the state and this nation. I pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Root. Mr. Phil Shirley, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance
Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the June 18th, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
That is 4A.
Unless we have county attorney comments, Mr. David Root.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The only thing I just wanted to apologize for not being there. I'm still dealing with some ramifications from the Achilles surgery, but it's getting better, and I hope to see y'all soon. But otherwise, I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Root. County administrator comments, Ms. Amanda Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too have nothing to share this evening.
Ms. Brock, thank you. Next, we have public comment session. We ask that all comments today be relevant to today's agenda or other issues pertaining to county operations and services. As a reminder, you have 5 minutes. I will hold up the yellow 1 minute warning sign when you get to 4 minutes, and when you reach 5 minutes, I will hold up the red stop sign. When you're first approaching, just please, Ms. Jennifer will call your name out, but please state your name again for the record.
Catherine Oaks.
Hi, my name is Catherine Oaks, and I am from Westminster. This is going to be addressed mostly to Mr. Durham. At the June 18th County Council meeting, my sister, Maria Green, spoke during the public comment section about bullying. Her and I left after she spoke, so I didn't get to hear your response to her until after I saw it on a YouTube video. And I'm going to quote what you said. You said, "Your sister," meaning me, "informed me that you," meaning my sister Maria, "were the one going out putting up despicable, nasty signs, which I believe is bullying. Matthew, you know this is a lie, and I've reached out to you multiple times for you to correct this lie. I've only communicated with you through Facebook Messenger and by email at this point. We have never talked in person, by phone, by video chat, or private text. Everything we have said to each other is documented. You asked me if I had any information regarding inappropriate signs, assuming that you meant your stolen, defaced signs, or the ones that had your mugshot on it during the campaigning. I did admit to you that I myself made 2 individual signs, one that was a domestic abuse hotline, and the other one was vote no to domestic abuse. I told you this because I didn't want anybody else to get blamed for something they didn't do. I didn't want an innocent person getting blamed. I never once said my sister Maria helped me or that she made any signs. I never said what you claimed, and you know that. After your lie, I messaged you at 8 p.m. that night asking you, why did you lie? And you never responded. Maria and I repeatedly reached out to you privately to try to correct this. To no avail. You let the entire county think my sister put up all these nasty signs about you all throughout your district. Because of what? When you finally responded back to one of my emails on June 24th, I again asked you to correct your response. And all you said back was that I implicated myself for 2 signs that I made. You told me to contact Jimmy Dixon of the Oconee County Police Department regarding this, and I did. And I called him, put the phone call on, my sister recorded it on speaker, and Jimmy Dixon does acknowledge that you did show him our our Facebook messages. He acknowledges that I was never a suspect in stealing your signs, and I never implicated myself, and neither is my sister. He also said in this video recording that you showed him all their conversations, and never once did I mention my sister's name about putting up these signs.
What in the hell is going on here? Look, is he trying to go after a citizen?
He has been. They have. Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick's is was the one that mocked her and it came to her sexual assault.
What?
Yeah, wow. He said it was feigned outrage. Nick said that on a post. And then, I mean, she stood up to him. Maria does too. That's the kind of crap we have there that people
Well,
put in.
look, here we go. I mean, this is what we've got to put up with for the next 4 more years.
Hey,
4 more years.
Hey,
Unless somebody wants to run against him.
That's right.
I mean, hey, step up, guys.
Listen, I appreciate that he's going to be there for 4 more years because I get to come here with my sourdough bread and my jams and jelly and pickles, and I get to hang out with my friends, and we get to listen
gives us
to
something
this,
to do, yeah.
this absolute shit
yeah, but
show.
you
Yeah,
forgot.
but this is getting very
You
serious.
forgot the other thing to tell him. We're all going to have matching Bentleys,
Well, that's
and we're going to tool around Oconee.
But
I like my
again,
minivan.
I'm listening to this, and we're going to go back to it, but I'm listening to every word, and nothing has changed. Nothing has absolutely changed. It's the
this
same
woman-
stuff.
This woman
Well,
is an
and a
honorable
woman.
mother.
Yeah, and a woman.
And a
yeah,
woman.
let's just pick on a woman because I have a feeling, elder women, but do you see this happening to somebody his age, a guy?
No.
Do you see that happening?
No, they pick on me because I'm old. I'm
All right,
older.
Let's go back. I'm totally. I guess I shouldn't be shocked.
We're not shocked. I'm not shocked at all.
So, sorry, I lost my spot. Anyways, Matthew, I asked you again, why did you lie to everyone about my sister and claim that she put up these signs when I told you she never did? All of our conversations are documented, and there's no proof I said this. It's astounding to me that you were so comfortable lying to silence and intimidate and discredit someone. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Oaks.
Maria Green.
Okay, that right there deserves a round of applause.
Yeah! That woman is a role model
She
for
was
the county.
concise. She was forthright. She told everything. And the biggest thing is she has it documented. But I just find it that the chairman of the Oconee Council is using the sheriff's department. He's dangling Mike Crenshaw on a string.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what? I don't know.
This is serious.
Crenshaw, I like Crenshaw.
But this is serious, Chris.
I agree with it. Agree.
It's just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
a certain.
why should you just be able to walk up there over any little thing like that? I mean, if you don't like a sign with your mugshot on it, maybe you shouldn't have a mugshot. Maybe that should cross your mind.
But here's another point. When we're talking about this, we still have that former deputy that's retired that's going claiming that he's works for the sheriff's department, representing himself
yeah,
as a
what's ever
deputy.
happened with that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, maybe somebody should call a different alphabet agency and see about that.
Hey, nothing. Zero. Already done it.
Nothing.
Nothing's going to be
governor?
done. No, what's the governor going to do? Nothing.
I don't know.
The governor's not going to do a thing.
Does he even have a badge?
Probably.
Well, I got one from T-Moon that's worth the
But he
money.
does not have current certification. But
not-
yet he continues to represent making phone calls that he's with the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, let's continue.
Hi, my name is Marie Green. I am from Seneca, and I will keep this kind of brief. I'm not going to rehash anything that my sister just said, but I'm here tonight in hopes that, Chairman, that you will finally correct this knowingly false statement that you made about me at the last meeting. Basically, I would just like to explore why. Why did you lie to everyone about me on the record? And as of this moment, you still have yet to respond to any of my emails. I have tried in vain to reach you. I have emailed everybody on the council. And I'm just not sure why
It's
I'm being
because he's a
ignored.
coward.
And I guess that's your right, but here I am, wasting time, your time, everybody's time talking about this. And this is not how I imagined or hoped this would be addressed. But what choice am I left with? Where do I go? Who do I talk to since you won't respond to me? Basically, I don't understand why you would lie to discredit me. I feel like you lied in hopes to turn people against me, to intimidate me, and to silence me. I feel like you used your position and platform as county council chairman to try and shut me down by telling a bold-faced lie. Instead of addressing my concerns that I brought forward about the behavior and the influence OCC has on our county council and their conduct, I feel like you tried to flip the narrative by lying about me.
Absolutely.
You attempted to
Absolutely.
distract from the issue at hand.
Does it all the
But
time.
what I
A liar
don't
and
think
a
you realize
coward.
is that you just proved my point with that behavior. Unfortunately, I feel like your conduct is unbecoming of the position that you hold on county council.
And
To
it
me,
always
it's
has
abhorrent
been.
that our county council chairman will not hold himself accountable for his own deliberate actions. I think that our county deserves better.
But then blame everybody else. Call your wife a liar, but blame everybody else for your ill will gain.
Well, he likes calling women liars. This is not the first time.
No, it's not the first time.
It won't be the last time.
I mean, if it's not clear that this is a chauvinistic pig, I'm going to call it as I see it, an egotistical, narcissistic, sociopathic bastard. That's the best that I can describe Chairman Matt Durham, right? I mean, am I right? Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I only want to know who he works for.
This is, well, we know who he works for.
He works for Duke.
So who and what the hell they going to do about it?
He works for the county as well.
He works
He's an
for the
elected
county.
official.
He works
so
for the
he
company.
works
But he
for
was-
He's
us.
the public face of Duke for the county.
But he was reelected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not by me.
Well, not because I couldn't vote for him. The point of it is,
He is a director of the soul of District 2. Period.
that I agree. That is well put
Not
together.
my soul.
No, but generally, for the most part, that is the soul. This is what these people.
that was a soul 1,200 people out of 15,000, y'all.
That
so
no one
just,
came to
just
vote.
so you know.
Okay.
We need better, and I don't feel like, I feel like this needs to be shut down. This is abusive behavior. Anyways, my only hope now.
She said it.
It is abusive behavior.
She
She
said
just said it. We're,
intimidation and abuse. Yeah. Sounds to me like a hate crime violation at the federal level.
Well, I mean, he's been indicted for abuse, and now another woman is coming forward and accusing him of abuse.
Well, they're verbally abusive.
Right.
Do you think that can become physical, maybe?
Well, you know, if she keeps talking, he's, you know, we've seen his attitude and the way he jumps around
And how he does things.
And remember when he was so mad at Julian a couple meetings ago, where he just stayed in his car outside and wouldn't come in because he couldn't confront him? It's quite possible this guy could jump across there and come at her if she revs him up.
Well,
he's
you know-
dangerous.
You know, society
He's dangerous to women. He's not a threat to men.
Society has a way of teaching people like that to control them.
normally, what you're seeing in the personality of him goes back to his childhood, that he grew up in it.
You knew him?
No, I'm just saying that 9 times out of 10, when you have someone that has the traits such as this bullying, is at some point he saw it growing up.
Well, you know,
You did too. You didn't turn out like that.
No, because I was not stupid.
well, but the thing is he's shown these tendencies in the last 8 months, not in the last 30 years.
Well, no.
So I mean, he is
Ever since,
active.
wait a minute, whoa. Ever since he started hanging around in 2020, when he was trying to get the nod to run, and then Wayne McCall stepped in, he's been like this.
Haven't seen Wayne in any of this lately. Have you?
He's still hanging out up at his office, and you know, when I go back forth to Salem doing stuff, I mean, I've heard and seen him. I mean, he was the one that gave the certain former deputy the telephone number, former owner of the radio station, to call, and
Oh.
that's how I know all about that. I mean, the former owner actually got in touch with me and said, "Do you know this is going on?" I said, "Yes."
Daylo.
I said, "Yes, I knew it was going on."
I'm disappointed because I thought we had an agreement.
We
Did we
don't-
have an agreement?
Well, yeah, well, I don't have an agreement.
No,
I-
we
I-
did, but we did though.
Well,
Remember?
for about what, 3 months, and then after 3 months, when our names showed up out of his mouth again, it was over. Right?
Why is that? Why won't people be on?
There is no such thing. I see this getting worse and worse, and it just proves the point of everything for the last 2 years that we have sit here collectively. It's happening right before our eyes. Whether people choose not to believe it, it is happening. And, we can lead the horse to water, but we can't make it drink the water. And that's simply put. There's no other way that we can show anybody else. I mean, this is what the show is here. We're here. We're on the air. We've done this day in and day out. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're coming up on about 300 something episodes, 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, we've had a lot of episodes in 2 years. We've done a lot.
You know what? So many episodes.
And doggone it, people like us.
It's so hard to think back on that and all the things we put together.
Do you remember the very first show that we set in
all
August?
The scenarios.
And in the old studio, and we done collectively?
Yeah.
You realize that nothing has really changed in those 2 years, that we're still sitting here talking about the same exact thing.
The same people and the same problems.
The same people, the same problems, from not only development to the lack of funding for infrastructure, for development standards.
Nothing's changed with the
changed.
state.
Nothing's
either.
changed.
Nothing's changed with the state either.
Do you remember when they accused us of marking up their signs?
Yes.
And I came in with the Purge music, with that giant marker. Randy, remember
I
that?
remember. Yeah.
God, that was incrable. We got to show that again.
Let's go ahead and keep listening and see what she has
Yeah,
to say.
she's making some great points.
Well, let me address this. Jeff, I appreciate you and your community efforts and not to cast stones, but I don't think your description of Durham is very Christ-like. This has nothing to do with Christ. This has absolutely nothing to do with Christ.
But why does everybody want to make him Christ-like?
I know. You're probably right about his personality, but I don't believe you need to use such profane words to describe him. I hope you'll take this in stride and realize if I ever get out of line, you need to call me out. There's nothing to call out here.
Who's just
I'm going to leave it alone. It's a friend. But there's nothing profane here. He is a narcissistic, sociopathic bastard. Mm-hmm. There's nothing profane. I'm calling it as I see it.
Well, and the thing of it is
the truth.
Why do we have to softly walk around people who are abusive to other people? Why are people afraid of this guy?
We're seeing an abuse of power right here.
Why do we have to play nice? Why does everybody have to play nice? That's how we wind up with these kind of people pushing everybody around and controlling everything. That's why we don't have nice people in government.
I could sit down and shut up and quit saying anything, and we could take the show off the air. And there's so many people in that organization that would love to see it, but I've got to tell it like it is. Let me say something. Rush Limbaugh didn't get to where he was at without calling it out. All your Sean Hannity didn't get to where he was at, called it out.
Alex Jones.
Alan Combs, too. Alan Combs, the biggest Democrat supporter. I mean, these talk show hosts call it out, and that's what we do. We're calling it out. It's checks and balance. And I'm sorry if what I say...
Let's use Joe Scarter.
Well, but all of them.
Mitchell Maddow.
All of them.
They're not being,
We're calling this out
nice,
as we see it because so many other people are so pissed off right now at what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And they don't say the things that we're saying because they're afraid, because guess what? They get attacked. I mean, look at what she said. Listen to what she's saying. She and her sister were verbally attacked. I mean,
Would you remember?
They are verbally attacked, these people. And sometimes the Lord, if you want to put it Christ-like, sometimes the Lord lays it on your heart to stand up for yourself.
There is nowhere in the Bible that it says to be a doormat. You show me chapter and verse, and then we'll talk. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Then we need to get back to this.
I just want to address what your friend said. I understand what he's saying, and he could talk about that. But let me just remind him, they used this guy named Perry Smith. This Perry Smith posted and called a woman, a mother, a whore on the Journal. Now, anybody in this community, they want to talk about this, not Christ-like and all that. Why don't you think about your wife or your daughter or your sister and them calling them a whore, and you want to lecture us? That's bullshit.
Well, there you go, Chris. Thank you.
My
is that the
pleasure.
people of Oconee see this for what it is, an abuse of power. Chairman, I really wish that you would address me at some point and tell me why you would lie about that. Anyway, so tonight, I hope that you uphold your oath that you took and be the leader that you swore that you would be by finally correcting your knowingly false statement. Thanks.
Ted Bisterfield.
Good evening. I'm Ted Bisterfeld. I live at 129 South 4th Drive, Seneca. I'm here to urge your approval of the proposed ordinance number 18 as it would apply to the county. We think it will be very beneficial to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Catherine Bryant.
Good evening. I'm here to probably just look for some guidance. We live in the Heritage Farm subdivision off Old Station Road, West Union mailing address, and we have a chronic inconsistent water pressure. It's been going on for years and it's been getting worse as time goes on. You call, report it. The technician is evidently not required to announce their arrival or to leave any kind of a documentation, what they found. We never.
I hate to say it, but I think they're in the wrong venue. The county doesn't own water.
Yeah, I think they need to be.
Is she talking about a Wahala?
I'm not sure.
Let's listen further.
Any feedback. So we don't know how to rectify the problem. We need some guidance on where to go. As I look at the state code, it tells me that fire hydrants are required on municipal water distribution systems, and we have none. It's at least a mile back to the back section, plus some spurs. Evidently, when the water line was installed years and years ago, there's about 50 parcels back there. They put it in an undersized line. They tell us like 2 inches rather than 4. At 6:30 in the morning, you can't get a shower. And we understand that the pressure may be low, but we'd like to have it to be consistent. We just don't know where to go.
We'll address at the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Reagan Merritt.
Hello, I'm Regina Merritt, and I live on Colony Lane. I'm a neighbor to this lady who just stepped down, Catherine Bryant, and I have the same problem. I have no water in the mornings until about 9 or 10 o'clock. It's just sometimes there's nothing. Sunday was nothing till about 10 or 11. That's the way it goes, and then afternoons, I've got no water pressure. So I had it checked Saturday at 2:15, it was 10, and I'm having a problem with that. I've been there for 35 years, and I just need help, something to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Merritt.
Harry Smith.
Hello, Council. I'm Perry Smith. First, I'd like to congratulate you guys on your recent Republican primary win for the County Council. The turnout this year underscores the critical importance of civic engagement, and I commend all those who participated. What I'm here today to talk about is the pending lawsuit against the county for the bonding. I'm deeply concerned about the ongoing lawsuit against the county and its citizens. which threatens to impose significant cost in the long term. It is my firm belief that the plaintiffs should bear full and all responsibility for any financial burdens incurred as a result of the recent litigation against the county regarding the bonding of the Sewer South to I-85 project. The involvement of individuals such as Jim and India Lancaster, Carl and Terry Myrie. Oh, India Lancaster's also, she ran against the incumbent Matthew Durham. Gwen McPhail, she ran against the incumbent Glenn Hart. David Dow, who actually sits on the the Sewer Authority Board. Doug Musick, Bruce Burrell, John Wagner, Lillian Lusk, Linda Love, and the South Carolina Public Interest Foundation raises serious questions about the motives behind the legal action. It is troubling that these individuals, some who ran against you guys, defeated in the primary elections, may have done this for political gain. Strange, isn't it?
Oh my God Almighty!
I didn't know he went to law school.
I didn't either.
Oh.
Did we miss that?
And, did he say India Man?
No, he said India
my
Lancaster.
God.
Oh.
Well, I'm just really happy that he has a clean.
I mean, that's the first time we've ever,
Collared
and a pair of
shirt
pants on, not dirty.
He looks like an engineer.
Maybe he's retired now and he don't have to, I don't know.
We got another year of this, boys and girls.
I can't.
I
Wait, what? What? I like it. What do you mean? Let's go. Tell me what it is. Happened when we're in our new studio on top of Mountain Road.
I am just.
Look at the comments.
And he'll be down there yelling up at us. I let that Chris Broom make the band.
Candace says I didn't know he could read.
Shit, I didn't. What do you mean? Can he read? Lord, did you hear what he said?
Morgan says he really thinks he's doing something.
But hold on, guys. Here's the thing. This is actually going to work out for us. This lawsuit tomorrow is going to bring out the fact that they can't do something in one part of the county that they're not going to do in all parts of the county.
Well, yeah.
So instead of having to finance the our own sewer treatment for our properties in the mountain, they're going to have to bring sewer up the mountain, and we're not going to have to pay for it.
Speaking of law,
and what happens with development?
Hey, speaking of lawsuits, you all know that they're going to have to settle with Stokes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did y'all see that?
Now, what happened with that one?
They're going to have to settle. The county is going to have to settle with Stokes.
Who's Stokes?
That's the gentleman that got illegally fired.
The planning guy.
The planning guy that got fired that Glenn Hart hated.
Yeah,
Really?
They said,
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
They said they targeted him.
Yeah, they targeted him.
Well, hey, you know what? They are targeting people. Perry,
Look at it. I look at it.
What?
How is that any different than what they did to Maria?
Do y'all remember Bubble Bass from SpongeBob? I mean, set this into motion again. There is a constitution,
Flats flounder.
a constitutional part in there, in the state constitution, that says you can't use Sewer South for just one specific area, this bond.
Right.
And again...
So you think they'll find the county at fault?
Well, because people in Mountain Rest don't have access to the sewer. Why should they have to pay for a sewer when
people in Salem and Tomasi and Mountain Rest?
Well, just
and Long
people.
Creek.
There are people in Walhalla that don't have access to sewer.
And they're right
Durham
within
lives in Mountain Rest,
well,
doesn't he?
but
Then why would he make his people pay for it?
Ask him. Why does he say that people put up signs that they didn't put up? I mean, ask the guy. He won't answer you, but ask him. I mean,
I'm just glad to go that the violin's playing, you know, up there in front. It's just the same thing. In 2 years, nothing's changed.
I demand that these people
whoa, wait a minute. I demand.
accountable and that they pay every dime of the citizens' money they wasted.
I'm pretty sure I don't give a shit what Perry Smith wants.
Maybe they'll buy him a new truck or some new harbor lights.
It better not be a lariat package
Speakers?
because that's
Don't
not
you
right.
find it? Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't you find it funny that Perry's always the last to go? Mm-hmm. And any's ever spoke, he's always the last to go.
Poor guy.
He must know somebody on county council.
I encourage everybody to come
Well, hold on.
tomorrow to the courthouse at 2.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, Jim is encouraging everybody to come to the courthouse at 2:30 right now. But the reason the reason that goes last is if he didn't go last, you turn me off. If he didn't go last, everybody that went after him would have been saying out loud, "Are you shitting me? He said that."
Well, are they saying it in there? I wish we had I wish we dangle him up.
Mr. Mayor,
He's out of order.
Who said
next we
that?
have council member comment.
go back.
What are they going to do?
Money they wasted
Hold on. We're going to go back. Instant
for this.
We got to turn that on instant replay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Listen.
Go ahead, no further speakers.
Further speakers?
I encourage everybody to come tomorrow to the courthouse at 2 p.m.
Whoa!
Next we have council
Oh,
member
God, I
comment.
can't take it. I can't
Well,
take
you know, here's the other thing.
it.
I'm driving up there in my
Quick
Bentley.
thing.
We do the people's business. We don't do our business, we do your business.
Wrong.
Use your
Wrongo.
And so we need feedback.
Well, he
so we make
does.
the decisions.
He does the people's
Y'all.
business. The rest of
Thank
them
you for
don't.
coming out.
But the thing is, he didn't call Perry out for his partisan
Any other
politics.
No.
Matt did not call Perry out for his partisan politics.
Why would he?
Again.
He won't.
Again, but then he called Jim down for saying something about coming to the courthouse.
Yeah. I mean, but why?
He's out of order.
Why would Matt do that? I mean, Matt's not going to do that.
Why would he obey the rules again? Why would he expect somebody to
Jim
obey
was just
rules?
doing a community service.
Well, I mean, it was very important community service.
I
I'd hurt
didn't even
his
know it was going to be at
feelings.
2:30.
It's at 2.
2.
Oh,
It's
so
2
see,
o'clock.
See, he needs to do it again for people that have a hearing disability.
It's 2 o'clock tomorrow, and it's going to be at Oconee Courthouse.
Do you
Mike,
think?
if
Do you,
my truck
do you
is
not
done,
think that
I'll
it's
make one.
odd that because I mean they don't get to schedule themselves, but they do get to play with it a little bit. Don't you think it's odd that they made it 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon
No.
when people are at work
No.
and they can't come?
No.
Of course it's not.
I don't because
No
that,
coincidence there.
well, they don't. They schedule when they can schedule them. That doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, you can't schedule a trial at 4:30 in the afternoon. They don't.
Oh, somebody's calling the tip line.
Was that the hotline?
It's a hotline.
Okay, here we go.
Miss Bryant and Miss Merritt, I don't know where y'all, if you could please make sure your number gets to Miss Jennifer here. And that's a city issue, but I'll help you get to the right people and I'll help advocate on your behalf. But please make sure your contact information is.
I'll help advocate on your behalf.
Oh, like he did the gun range?
Like
Yeah.
he's going to run up there and tell everybody, oh, they got to get their water fixed.
And he's the Greenway.
Yeah. Yeah, he
That's
stopped
right.
there. Oh, yeah.
I forgot about
About the Greenway.
And-
Yeah, they're in. Yeah.
It's really pretty.
And he was
by the way.
he was advocating for us when he went to New York.
Oh, he advocated well for us. 43 million in what, 20-something years we got to pay back? That's a real, that is saving Oconee County tons of money, y'all. But yet, no one in this county wants development. More on that later.
Before you leave. As far as Miss Oates and Miss Green, Miss Green, I suppose, I had conversations with, I had conversations with your sister, and, I've definitely seen the vile rhetoric that both of y'all have online. And, one of the comments was, in respect to the signs, was, "Ha ha," from you, Miss Green. I know who put them up too. This makes me giggle so much. So I apologize for assuming that you're the one who put them up. But I have seen the vile rhetoric come from both of y'all, so it's kind of, amusing. You said it on social media. I got the
Oh,
screenshot.
who's saying that?
It's
They're getting into
when
it.
You guys come out and speak about bullying when the vile rhetoric that y'all put out is just disgusting. And we've seen what that kind of rhetoric can lead to at the national level. And we also see it now at the local level. It just trickles down.
Really?
there's a group of y'all, and I'm not saying you're the ones who do it. There's a group of y'all congregate together, and it goes beyond what you believe.
You know,
is
it's freedom of
middle school
speech
board.
unless he doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's freedom of speech unless they don't like it, and it's freedom of speech as long as it's the big ogre that was speaking right
Oompa
there.
Loompa.
Oh,
Yeah,
the one that called the mother
guy.
a whore.
It's the guy that can follow the elderly folks around after their meetings, after they speak at council meetings, and run people out of the road. It's the people that can knock down the mailboxes after
And
they come to the
incite
council
violence.
meetings. It's the ones that can vaguely do death threats and that kind of thing, and nothing happens.
Anti-Semitism.
And anti-Semitic slurs. It's people that can do the little feigned racist remarks and the sexist remarks and homophobic things.
But just remember,
but she's vile because her opinions don't align with his.
the devil made him do it.
And the devil made him do it. So just remember that, folks. Just remember that. This
Where's
is
that
your
from?
guy. This is your guy.
This is who you elected.
Exactly.
This is who you elected.
Thanks a lot, guys.
No, this is
Thanks.
it. This is who you elected. This is going to give 4 more years of Let's Talk Oconee right here.
And why? Because he said the dirty word. He's conservative or whatever. Yeah, and I'm an
did he really?
astronaut. I'm an astronaut. Yeah.
David Nix admitted that they used the guy that's got that new shirt on to intimidate people. He admitted it in a post, Jeff.
Yeah. Because I
Think
call
about that. What are we in, like a middle?
vile rhetoric. Candace, right on.
Yeah, he has the most vile things on his campaign page and allows it to stay there. His people say the most vile, disgusting things about the LGBTQ community. They may say the most vile things about people who are Democrats, people who are liberals, anyone who does not fall lockstep what he thinks.
But they're doing it in the name of Christian. They're God. They're Christ-like.
That is nothing like Jesus. That is nothing like Jesus.
But you understand the point that I'm making.
Sorry. Not sorry.
That they preach. They preach
Yeah,
that
Christian nationalism is a disease, and it is nothing like Christianity, and it is nothing like Jesus. That is the hill I will die on.
All I'm saying is the woman at the well never said Jesus beat her. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
And let me say one thing. What these guys do, and what Durham says, is clearly against Duke Energy employee policy. So all you Duke leaders out there that I know are listening in here, that man right there is damaging your brand every single day.
But here's the problem. At what point Duke Power doesn't give a damn?
They'll have to tell.
Well, at what point you
I
have
don't
to
know.
ask is Duke promoting this type of behavior?
that's-
Are they fostering an environment?
What's going to happen if the
that
New York
a bunch
Times
of white
wants-
nationalists out there?
What if the New
Is
York
that what they're
Times wants to
doing?
write an article asking
Can
them?
I tell you? Probably absolutely nothing.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
I could sit here and look you in the face and tell you that, it would be over and over, but I'm beginning to learn a pattern that people don't give a damn. Had people cared enough, then there would come out and they would have voted. It goes back, election has
don't
consequences, and they don't care.
You're absolutely right.
They'd rather sit behind the keyboard and play warrior instead of getting out to the polls. Because even if you go back to 2022, when my election, we had more people show up that election than we did this past one.
Yeah.
People don't care anymore. They're tired. They feel like their vote doesn't matter anymore. So instead of lining up the streets,
it doesn't.
and vote,
Their vote doesn't matter because they do all these polls and they ask people what they want, and then our legislature will do the exact opposite of what people tell them that they want. So their vote doesn't matter. We elect these people, or we have these people, and they go uncontested. They serve 20 years in the same seat, and no one runs against them. And then they send out these things, and they say, they do all these polls, and they ask people, and 70% of people will say, I don't want this. And they do it anyway.
well, you're exactly right. And you also elect someone that's never voted. That has no rhyme or reason being in Columbia. to represent Oconee County. He has no rhyme or reason. Never registered, but never voted. All right, here we go. Back to county council.
To criminal activity. The signs was criminal activity. The vandalizing on my personal property at my home, which I've never made a public statement about, that your group of individuals brag about online, that's criminal activity. The taking photos of my home and putting them online may not be criminal, but it's definitely intended to
It's not criminal to put up a sign.
So right now,
I can put up a sign of anything, anytime, any place, anywhere, ever.
it's your group of people.
I am not a part of any group.
Any other council member comment?
Remove her.
Any other council member
She needs to get an attorney.
Hey, he said that?
You cannot own up to your wife.
At my home, which
I wanna
I've
go
never
back
made
and
a
listen to
public
this.
statement about, that your group of individuals brag about online, that's criminal activity. The taking photos.
So is he declaring that Let's Talk Oconee is criminal activity?
Ooh, golly, that sounds...
That sounds like he just launched a World War threat to us.
That is the definition of slander. When people start talking about slander, that folks, that is the definition right there. Okay, there's your
a
definition.
part of a group.
What group? Who is she? Anyway, she's not part of my group. I don't even know her.
Who is the group? Come on, Matthew. Tell the group is.
Damn dirty Democrats.
Oh,
You
God.
can't blame that on a Democrat.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Somewhere in this meeting, he's going to say something like, is or is you not my constituent?
Possible.
Online may not be criminal, but it's definitely intended to intimidate me. And
Yeah, intimidate. I like that, intimidate.
Intimidate.
Oh, my God. I've got 5 police reports of these guys. They wrote an article. They were quoted in the Journal newspaper inciting and violence against me. And I do want to make sure everybody understands, I'm not impersonating a police officer. This is a T-Move badge. Thank you.
I am totally blown away.
I'm not.
Oh, I am.
Oh, God, these guys.
This is par for course. I'm just surprised.
Randy, wait, you're not surprised.
I'm just surprised that they're not wearing matching
He's the
armbands
victim.
right now.
That's exactly
Oh,
right.
God.
Why don't they-
He is the victim.
Why don't they wear bed sheets? I mean, they might as well.
Well, I'm saying right now, I don't understand why they're not wearing armbands that would distinguish their group from any other group.
Again, he's a victim. He's a victim again, y'all.
Poor buddy.
He's a victim.
Is he? He should ask his brother-in-law.
Well, what we don't need is victims in office.
No.
We need leaders, not cowards and victims.
Victim. There is an understatement of the day. Victim. What is a victim? So Matt Durham claims that he is a victim from bullying. He's being bullied
by 2 women.
by 2 women, I might add.
That he's
Of course
never
it'd be
met
women.
in person because of something he thinks they said online, because they ask him questions, because he is a public official.
I mean, he tried blaming all that shit on me, too. I wasn't even in town.
No, he
I
tried.
remember
Remember
that.
the deputies came up there looking for you. I mean, it blows me away that we give the sheriff's department all this money, and yet now there appears the perception of the reality here is it appears that the sheriff's department is at the beck and call of the chairman of Oconee County.
Do you remember the size of
This
my
just
yard?
gets- this just gets worse and worse.
There are whole people missing.
That
And
may
our tax dollars are wasted because this putz is worried about a sign that hurt his feelings.
Well, I mean, there's notebooks missing, too.
Yeah, there were SLED investigations, and there are whole human beings missing in this county. I'm sorry.
I bet you. Wait a minute.
I'm
let me just.
so over it and don't care. And you know, just November is not here yet, so people can run for sheriff too if they want to.
Nobody cares. Nobody's willing to step up.
Just remember that, you know, folks. These things are not done until the fat lady sings. It ain't November yet. I mean, they think they got it all hemmed up.
but it's going to take somebody to come out of the woods and be
Well,
willing.
if they keep acting like this, it's not going to be as hard to find somebody to come out the woods.
Kathy,
now, is it?
Kathy, it's going to take somebody that's willing to be attacked at all hours. The family's going to be attacked, and unfortunately, I don't see anybody willing to take the
cross. Going to put up with it.
But who is stepping forward? Right now's the time. This is July 16th. The election is November. If somebody's going to stand up and start running, they better announce now. Because you can't announce in August or September and expect to be able to put a campaign, because these people are going to try to destroy anybody. Even if they farted loudly in public, they're going to be there to tell them, oh, look, he farted loudly. That's bad news. No, I'm serious.
I just turned my microphone.
Time is time. If people are going to stand up and willing to take the cross and run with it, they better do it now.
Well, and you know, that's kind of what's happening with Jazzy Acres. I mean, we're just going to have to beat them with inside the confines of their
Well,
own
we're
rules.
going to talk a little bit about Jazzy Acres. I want to finish this here.
In my family. So right now,
Why does he always say his family?
That's-
Nobody's
that's all I'm
attacked
gonna
his
say.
family except him.
it's your group of people.
It's your group.
What group?
Any other council member comment?
Remove her.
Did he say
Any other
that?
council member?
Who said that? Was it Don? Hold on.
Bag about online?
Sue
That's
them.
criminal.
Hold on.
Sue
They're
them.
taking photos of my home
Hold on.
and putting them online. May not be criminal, but it's definitely intended to intimidate me and my family.
Hell, I can go to Google Earth and take a picture of your house, for God's sakes.
So right
Hold
now,
on.
that's all I'm going to say.
That
Thank
is
you.
not us.
It's your group of people.
I am not a part of any group.
Any other
How
council
dare
member
you.
comment?
I don't know who says that.
Perry said it.
It sounds like Perry.
It's Perry.
Any other council member comments?
Oh, sure. He likes to bully women.
You cannot own up to your wife.
Ms. Green.
No, do not address me unless you're going to apologize. That is absolutely.
Oh, now the deputy's getting
Let's
up.
move on. Let's move on.
How sad is
If you
this?
cannot behave, then we will have you removed.
Okay, you can actually tell the truth.
Look at that deputy.
That's
Here she
Kim.
goes. I want to know who it was in the background.
Next we move forward to
You know, they're out of view, so it could be David Nix too.
No, you can
public
tell the
hearing
girl.
ordinances. Public hearing for the following ordinances. We have one ordinance 2024-16, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes and special source revenue credit agreement by and between
Now Amanda
Oconee
gets up.
County,
Amanda gets up and she walks back there.
South Carolina, and Sandvik Machining Solutions USA LLC, formerly identified as Project Turn, acting for itself,
Yeah, let's all
one or
know.
more current or future affiliates, and other project companies.
Somebody needs to
collectively
FOIA.
company.
Somebody needs to FOIA that camera over in the corner. If y'all want to do that tomorrow, I think it would be a good idea to FOIA that corner camera as we've done before. FOIA that, because we need to see what's going on in that back corner. I think there's something more going on back there that I think the
Providing
folks
for
need
a
to
fee
see.
in lieu of ad valorem taxes incentive, providing for a special source revenue credit, creating or modifying a joint county industrial and business park between Oconee County and Pickens County so as
How
to
many times have we heard this in the last year? Project Red Snapper, Red Goober, or whatever it is. I mean, how many times have we heard this?
It's three.
Give them free taxes
It's
and
3 jobs.
Y'all, I'm gonna let y'all talk a minute because I'm gonna go visit Niagara Falls.
yeah, do
Well, just
that.
let this thing.
Let me
run so
show
can
you
see it.
how much we waste tax money. I'm going to the bathroom and flush the toilet.
Yep.
Well, that's okay. I have septic.
You don't just run off into the lake.
Hey, man. You know what?
You elitists don't know what you
Hey,
have.
now wait a minute. Another disclaimer, because you know what they're going to do. This is a TMU badge. I'm not a law enforcement officer. It is a toy badge worth as much as that guy that keeps saying he is. But I'm not, even though this was $6, not the cheap one of $1.99, okay?
Hey, you got to try some of these products I brought.
But hey, I
thing
want
right
you to
here
check.
is
You know,
awesome.
I know we're on the air, but I want people look at this. This is good shit, man.
Well, they
check
can't-
that.
they can't see
No,
it.
look how
You
heavy it
got-
is.
They can't see it. He's got the screen turned off.
Oh, he can't. Nobody can see it.
All right, hit me up. Hit me with one.
Oh, that sound of sewer south running through my mind. That felt good. Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Nature calls. And I really wished I had a wireless microphone because I really wanted you to hear the sound of rushing Niagara Falls.
To designate the property, other projects as part of such part and other related matters.
I have no speakers.
No speakers.
No one cares.
Thank you.
Nope.
Ms. Jennifer, I close public hearing on ordinance 2024-16.
No one
I apologize, I
cares.
misspoke. We have 2 public hearings.
Oh,
I need
he
to back up 'cause
misspoke.
I needed to read a public comment that wasn't related to public hearing, so I'm going to read that.
Oh,
this
Lord,
time.
here we
I
go.
apologize.
He can apologize about that, but he can't apologize to the
I'm
young
going to read
lady.
this out loud. This says, I am not able
being
to
a
attend the
liar.
July 16th meeting, but would like to share the below in support of ordinance 2024-18. As a lifelong South Carolinian who moved from Charleston, South Carolina to get away from overdevelopment. That's public hearing. I apologize, but I'm going to read it. To get away from overdevelopment, this important ordinance establishes minimum lot size and maximum density standards for the control-free districts in Oconee County. It is needed more than ever as our state continues to grow. This overdevelopment will put a damper on our quality of life. This important change will be a major step in helping to preserve the appeal of living in Oconee County by setting lot size and density standards in large new developments. I ask for your support in third and final reading of this important ordinance 2024-18 on Tuesday, July 16th. It says, thanks, Dustin Foxworth. Okay, I have one that was meant for,
Do you need to read that to public hearing first?
I'm gonna, I'll continue.
I'm just gonna do what I want because I don't follow any rules anyway.
No.
This is for public comment. It says, my name is Jerry Yantis and I live in Seneca. I'm in support of overhead and underground conversions for the South Cove County Park submitted by Parks and Recreation and Tourism. This project will provide significant improvement to the South Cove facilities. The addition of tennis courts and pickleball courts is supported.
That's very important. We have to have pickleball courts in Oconee County. It's huge.
Naked pickleball.
I know.
By nearly 340 residents and South Cove visitors who signed a petition stating as such in September
It's not
2023.
nutritious.
Please vote to approve this first step of the project.
Fruit,
Thank you.
man.
This one has to be read out loud, but we also, for the South Cove project, received 30 additional emails in support. Okay, now I move to the public hearing. I apologize.
See, it's so easy to say.
2024-18, an ordinance amending chapter 38 of the Oconee County Code of Ordinances in certain limited regards. And particulars only regarding the establishment of minimum lot size and maximum lot density provisions for the control-free district and other matters related thereto.
Yeah, 22 speakers.
22 speak. And just a reminder, public comments on the ordinance, that's the topic, and there's no time limit, so you have as long as you need.
Watson Johnson.
We could fast forward most of that shit.
Yeah, that's not going to affect Jazzy Acres.
Watson Johnson, and I live in Salem. I am here to support.
Just remember, all of these are Kiwi Key people. They live on the lake. Right? There's all these 22 people are from the lake.
Oh, if it's in favor of a pickleball
I know
court,
them.
count me in.
Yeah. This is actually the zoning, the development standard, I should say. Excuse me. We can't say zoning on this program. It's banned. The Federal Communications Commission won't let us say zoning because that's a bad word.
Are you kidding?
You can't say zoning. Zoning is you can't say zoning. You'll get in trouble. Perry will be after you.
We see how that's turned out before.
I know, right?
Density limitations in
Okay.
Oconee County. This ordinance is a good
What
start
is that?
in preserving everything that makes Oconee County a desirable
Sweet or
place that we all enjoy.
I can't do that.
We also, now
Sure.
with I-85 and the
I don't need
completion of
sweet
Sewer
pickles.
South, we have the ability to easily get places for both industry and for the residents. New industry is going to bring in new jobs. It's going to bring in new people who need new housing. When I arrived in this area in 1973, There wasn't much in Oconee, Pickens, or Anderson counties, and Greenville wasn't anywhere close to what it is now. Look at Woodruff Road. In the early 80s, you could go from I-85 to Simpsonville, and there was nothing.
Chris, there is the word for the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
He says Woodruff Road.
Who owns it? Who owns Woodruff Road? Me. I even
You
have
need to
I
buy that
almost
guy's
wore that
steak.
shirt tonight. Oh, yeah, baby.
Woodruff Road.
Justin Jackson.
Look at Highway 153 in Powdersville and the growth around Easley.
Man.
Do we want
Those are
this
good.
kind of congestion?
Well, I have but nothing but 20-something years to come up with development standards after everybody come in here and started developing everything, and now all of a sudden we're sitting here, oh my God, they're going to be 2 single-wide trailers. That's right, Jazzy Acres 2025.
In Oconee County? I don't think we do. In 1977, when I was a senior, Clemson had, if I remember correctly, 9,260 students. And the charter, if I remember correctly, was to cap it at 10,000. And now there's somewhere around 25,000 students. And as I saw your comment, Chairman Durham, in the paper last week about the new housing that is coming behind what we knew as the 123 truck stop or Pa's Diner. All the student housing is now coming to Oconee County. Growth in this state is well documented, and last year South Carolina was #1, and in the state Greer was the first or the largest growth in the state. My career, I was blessed, and it took me all over the state over 40 years, plus years, and I was able to observe a lot of growth and things that were done properly and not done well. As I said, the ordinance is a good start. Growth can be smart and well organized, or it can just happen. And it has just happened in a lot of places. When it's organized, roads, infrastructure, public services, schools, and supporting businesses are in place before the development overwhelms. Fees are in place to alleviate the cost to the existing residents. If growth is not organized and planned, trying to play catch-up is costly and it's unbelievably inconvenient to everyone. Most people want to preserve their land and would never want to see it turned into a development. But situations arise and sometimes it has to be sold. And you can't control what a new purchaser does with the land once they own it. It happened in my family.
Well, what do you think there, Ruin?
I'm interested in what Kathy has to say.
Yeah, Kathy. Is it good?
It is good.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Sorry. It's really good. We're eating. Sorry.
I'll start.
Put her on the big screen so they
I'll
can see
start.
her.
I'll start.
Hold on a minute. Look, Kathy's on the big screen.
Where?
There you go.
All right, Kathy, go, Kathy.
Tell them what you got there, Kathy.
It's blueberry and blackberry. Blackberry, is that right? Yeah. It's delicious.
Oh, these
yeah,
pickles.
on sourdough.
And these superb.
Pickles. Squash pickles. Yeah. It's pretty
Just
pretty
sitting
awesome.
over here all by myself.
So
Jeff's
No,
not getting any.
so we should really talk about this.
Well, let's do it. Let's let a few more play because we
Okay,
really got to talk
okay.
about development.
Yeah, we'll take our time on
Because
that.
development's very important here.
Hey, there's the farmer that raised them blueberries is watching right now.
Mr. Bond?
You did a great job.
You can see all over the state what happens when a developer comes in, buys land that has no controls in place. Often it's not pretty. When ordinances are lacking, trees and green spaces are destroyed, clear cutting damages the streams and the lakes, and the road and side setbacks are insufficient. High-density housing is placed where roads are unable to handle the traffic, and every required service is strained. Thank you again for taking on this important issue. I appreciate your support of the ordinance. And as I say, it's a good place to start. There's a lot of work that needs to be done afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Mark
Good evening, County Council members. I am Martha Steele, and my husband and I live in District 3. We sincerely thank the Planning Commission and the County Council for their work on these new and very important development standards for setting density and lot size minimums in a plan for smart growth in Oconee County. Certainly, smart growth would allow our county to grow while simultaneously protecting and ensuring a lasting and workable infrastructure that would not be destroyed by the rapid development of high-density projects and their resulting nightmarish traffic conditions with the many safety issues of traffic congestion, fire protection, and law enforcement. We encourage the County Council to pass the third reading of Ordinance 2024-18 and vote to adopt these new standards. Again, thank you for letting me speak.
Lee McKenzie.
Good evening. I'm Lee McKenzie, District 3. I'm just here to encourage you to vote and pass the 2418 the reading that we're doing tonight, to protect the beauty of this area and to allow for carefully studied decisions for infrastructure. Projects do not go in before the infrastructure is there to support them. Everything from fire, sewer, schools, and all that's needed. And to make sure that development doesn't affect the beauty of this area. I hiked 9 miles this morning and just thanking for the beauty of this area. And it just grieves me to think that without controlled growth and planned growth, that we would lose this. We have a gem in this north upstate part. And I appreciate you thinking forward and protecting what we have. I just encourage your vote. Thank you.
Mr. Garcia. Can't make out the first name. Sorry. Frank.
Good evening. My name is Frank Garcia. I'm here to encourage you to vote for the 2024-18. We live in a beautiful place. I'm an outsider of Miami, Florida, and Atlanta, and I don't want that here. The density was unreal. So if you can please support this ordinance, appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm gonna try this next one. Paul. Last name has a Z in it. That's all I can make out.
Paul Z.
Or Carl. No? Okay.
If we get to the end and you didn't hear your name called, just raise your hand and I'll.
We have handwriting lessons after the
Janice Garcia.
Good evening. I'm the other half of Frank Garcia's couple, and also am here to ask you to support 2024-18. We love living here. We have experienced twice, once in Miami and once in Atlanta, uncontrolled growth. In both places, we lived in a rural area that was then subjected to high-density development without proper infrastructure. So we hope that you all will pass this, and as the gentleman said at the beginning, it's a great starting place. Thank you.
Pete Bowenhoff.
I'm Peter Butenhoff. Been blessed, my wife and myself, to live in Seneca and Oconee County for 20 years now. Rented for 2 years while we built our dream retirement home. During that time, we've had grandchildren visit. Now we have great-grandchildren, 4 from our grandchildren, who 3 of which graduated from Clemson, married people they met at Clemson. They all want to live close by. They love this area. And it's not just the university, it's the area, the mountains, the greenery, the waterways, and the lifestyle we enjoy. For many years, I led a task of, I was the go-to guy when people had septic problems in our community. And I can tell you there were many. I'd have urgent calls for, who do you recommend for pumping? We have sewage backing up into our house in the lower level. And $500-600 later, they could let their company continue to enjoy their home. And sometimes they'd spend thousands of dollars on repairs to faulty drain fields or other issues. I personally experienced that same situation with my drain field, and happy to have it rectified. We're very, very careful about how we treat our septic system and recommend to all of our neighbors that they take good care also. If you're fortunate enough to live on a sewer that gets treated in Seneca or in other ways, you're fortunate. You don't need to worry about a septic system. But
what does this have to do with development?
It doesn't. He's getting around to, hey, sewer south is not just needed down south. It's needed everywhere in the county. And
we need to get rid of septic tanks altogether. Yeah. I see it. It's coming.
Septic tanks are real shit.
Well, see, that's going to be good for us because then I won't have to worry about putting in like 4 trailers for every septic tank system either. I just tap onto the sewer and I'm done.
Not only that, we have taxpayers helping pay for all
That's right. We can get a FIA-LUA agreement.
There you go.
Housing.
We should go down there and ask for that.
Because, see, we're going to be providing housing for folks. Critical housing needs. Because remember,
none of these houses are that have been going in are affordable housing.
But remember, all this business that's supposed to be coming in into Oconee, when yet all it is the people that are already existing businesses here are adding more jobs to the existing clientele. We're not bringing new jobs in. We're just adding jobs within the same people that are here in Oconee, renegotiating their deals so they can get free taxes, but you're not bringing anything new in. Remember, the deal was Sewer South. We're going to have all these businesses, and nowhere is the Golden Corners Commerce Park on any of these lists.
Yeah, but wait a minute, though. With that business, when they expand it, I thought that these employees that are working there now are getting raises to $40 to $80 an hour.
I think you're completely misunderstood on that,
Well, that's
sir.
what Durham said.
Well, I mean, but remember, apparently, according to the latest Durham, doesn't tell the truth a lot of times.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. I mean, I just heard that just a few moments ago.
Remove Jeff out of here.
The health of septic systems. And so I therefore encourage your support for that so we can keep this beautiful corner, Golden Corner, clean and green and truly golden for future generations. Thank you.
I hate you.
Marla Queen.
Good evening, council members. My name is Marla Queen, and I'm a resident of Salem. Thank you for this opportunity to voice my support for Ordinance 2024-18. I moved to the upstate because of its beauty and abundance of nature, like everybody else that has gotten up here. In the 6 years that I have lived here, I have seen development happening all around me. And for me, the most disturbing is the clear cutting of land to make room for housing developments, plural. I am not against building per se because I understand that it generates revenue, but I believe it should only happen after certain measures are taken.
Well, what was it? We can't have red trees? I mean, seriously, remember, we can't have red trees.
Yeah.
We have to cut all these trees down.
Well, and they didn't want the ordinance that said that once you cut so many trees and you put back in businesses that required them to plant a few trees. Do you remember that? But the zoning and buffering, because they said, well, you know, hey, if you're going to clear cut all this and put in this business, then hey, let's put say that they have to put back in a few trees. And they're like, no, you can't tell people what to do with your property.
No, it's property rights. If you don't like it, go buy it.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, just the
that's what
trees.
we're doing.
You cut down, 200 trees. Maybe you should put back 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. No, we can't tell them what to do.
Trees are just so wrong on so many levels.
I mean, they just make oxygen for you to breathe. I mean, it's just they just help you breathe and
Plant a
stuff.
tree for your tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you go up there to Chattooga Ridge Road and you go from Verner Mill Road all the way out to Vine, the tree on either side of the road.
No, they cut all of them up there, didn't they, for clear cutting?
That's like a 4-mile stretch
Yeah.
of road that has absolutely no trees.
Yeah,
You don't need to
cut 'em.
breathe up there. I mean, just forget it, man.
No, I mean, you got enough of weed up there to smell and breathe. You'll be okay.
I just wonder how many houses they're going to put up.
Well, no, I hear there's going to be tons of them, especially those duplexes up there where they're stacking these shipping containers on top of each other.
Yeah, that's the coolest idea.
I do. I think that's the greatest idea.
9 high.
Yeah, minimum 9 high.
Yeah.
If we can
Needs to
get
be
10
an
high, that'll be
overarching
better.
vision for land use, which includes how much is to be preserved for parks and recreation, and what percentage can be used for housing and business development. There should be a formula for how many trees a town needs. Ordinance 2024-18 aims to slow down and control growth while a vision for Oconee County is formulated and a strategic plan is developed so that we can all continue to enjoy the natural beauty of this place we call home. I do not want to see what has been happening in Clemson with high-density housing to happen here in Oconee County. Limiting housing projects to 2 homes per acre where there is a need for septic tanks or 4 homes per acre where public sewer systems are in place will allow growth to continue here without totally devastating the environment. The trees would not have to be clear-cut to fit more houses on each acre lot. Moreover, without controls on buildings such as Ordinance 2024-18 proposes, we run the risk of overburdening our existing infrastructures. If multiple small houses are built on lots that require septic systems, for instance, the chances of mismanagement and poor maintenance can potentially leak waste into our rivers and lakes and create health problems. And the gentleman right before me was talking about how many there really are out there. Another issue, there has been a noticeable increase in traffic in Clemson, and I'm just using Clemson because it's just so close to us, with many high-rises that have been and continue to be constructed. Steps need to proceed high-density construction in Oconee County to ensure that the aesthetics and safety for our residents are maintained. We need to know if our existing roads can handle the increases in traffic and assess the impact on our fire and emergency services. Ordinance 2024-18 will hopefully give Oconee County the time it needs to develop the bigger picture. It appears also to be in line with Oconee County's mission statement that portends, and I quote, to protect our community's heritage, environment, and natural resources in an ever-changing world. Thank you again for this opportunity to add my voice to the support of Ordinance 2024-18. I hope you adopt it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Beth Geltz.
I am Mary Beth Geltz, and I'm here to ask for your support for Ordinance 2024-18. When I was young, my grandmother taught me when she was passing on her most treasured recipes that you can always add a little bit more, but you can't take away once you put it in. And so I'm asking you, because I love this county, and I have my little slice of heaven in the woods. This ordinance doesn't halt growth, it just slows it. So we can get the recipe right. Developments can still be built, but we need to take time to make sure that the builders from outside don't come in and destroy the things that we love. The things we love the most about Oconee County. We want to make sure that when we leave it in a good condition for the people who will be here to follow us. We don't want it to have a drain on the fire and the police services and the traffic problems that no one will be happy with. I urge you to pass 2024-18 so you can successfully determine what we need to retain and preserve so that we keep the beauty, the lives, and the lifestyle that we all treasure. Thank you for listening.
Larry Bowman.
Good evening. My name's Larry Bowman, and I've lived in Oconee County for 45 years. The first 2 years I was in graduate school at Clemson, so I did nothing to contribute to the tax base. And the only time that I ever contributed to the economy was either eating at Cindy's in Seneca, Crane's Jealous Grill in Westminster, or still one of my most favorite, the Walhalla Steakhouse. And like most Clemson students, they are not going to contribute anything to the tax base or very little to the economy. So I then went to medical school and completed my military obligation as a flight surgeon, and then was at Penn State doing a sports medicine orthopedic residency. Came back in '81. The actual population then was about 28,000. Now it's over 80,000 in Oconee County. We had 28 doctors on staff at Oconee. Now we have over 200. So the county is growing. And my concern, I agree with everything that everybody said, that we're worried about hard infrastructure and the aesthetics. But one of my real concerns is I was here in 69 and 70 when they were building the lakes and building the roads. And the roads haven't changed, and you can't change the traffic patterns. So for fire and the emergency responders and EMS, minutes mean lives, and we can't change the traffic patterns. So I think quality development's critical. And so I agree with everything that everyone else has said, but just every health worker that I've talked to, every person that's a citizen are in favor of the 2024-18. We appreciate your all's hard work, thoughtfulness, conscientiousness, and urge you to pass it on the third reading.
Sir.
Kathy Katsudo.
My name is Kathy Capsuto and I live in Salem, and I'll be very brief. I'd like to urge you to support this ordinance of 2024-18. I don't need to repeat everything that's said. I agree with all that has been said already. It's an important thing to be forward-thinking and control the growth that we have. That's all. And thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Barb Leonard.
name's Barbara Leonard, and I live in Salem. My husband and I moved here in January 2023 from a community north of Tampa that experienced explosive growth that was not properly planned for. I am in support of the passage of the ordinance 2024-18, controlling the minimum lot size and maximum lot density in the control-free districts in Oconee County. There are numerous reasons why we need to control population growth. As many of us know, Highway 130 will not be widened. It's a 2-lane road with 2 bridges and 2 dams. How many times do we already have to stop on the way into town when cars make a left turn? Even now, before additional growth, in emergency situations, it's already backed up. So if we're adding a population the size of Walhalla, this is a dangerous situation for an evacuation or getting emergency vehicles through to save lives. In the community we came here from, in Florida, our rapid growth required building new schools, hiring hundreds of teachers, and regular redistricting of the children, forcing them to move schools as growth occurred. It was extremely disruptive and divisive in our community. And it was very emotional for the children being forced to move schools, separating them from friends and teachers that they had developed relationships with. Also, there were not enough buses or drivers, so children had to be picked up in shifts. This happened for my child with morning pickup shifts for elementary students from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Some children were not getting off the bus in the evening, getting home until 5 p.m. This was very disruptive to family schedules, and especially those with multiple children in elementary school, middle school, and or high school with varied bus schedules. It's horrible. In addition to stressing our educational resources, our healthcare, law enforcement, fire department, and EMS resources will be stressed. There will be increased crime, drugs, and vandalism. And there will be a drawdown on the water table affecting the availability of fresh water. So finally, we must ensure that developers are paying fees for all of the needed additional infrastructure. Any shortfall in tax revenue collected from them or industry to cover this growth will mean an increase in taxes to residents. So I support the passage of the ordinance. Thank you.
Dave Emanuel.
Dave Emanuel, Seneca. I made my thoughts known at the last meeting, and everybody previously has pretty much covered all the ground. Just for the record, I want to bring up section 6-29-27 of the State Code of Laws, which addresses the fact that counties do have the capacity and the authority to make zoning decisions.
Okay, let's pay particular attention going forward. This is important.
That's been disputed in the past. I've got a copy here of it. I'm sure you know it. Just want to make sure for the record that is state law, that the counties do have the authority to make zoning decisions. Thank you.
Now, we all know that's not going to happen. We cannot have zoning in Oconee. That is bad business.
But they don't want a moratorium because they might get a lawsuit.
A lawsuit?
A lawsuit.
Well,
I'm not sure what
why
it
can't Pickens County hadn't got one yet? There's a moratorium in Pickens County on building.
Yeah, they keep doing the moratoriums over and over.
I know.
Thank you for doing your homework, sir.
Listen to them. Do the cheers.
Robin?
Hi, I'm Robin McLaughlin. Thank you for the opportunity to once again ask for your support to pass the ordinance and to address the concerns, my concerns over the threat of high-density runaway development that overstresses our current infrastructure and is quite honestly out of character for the flavor of this area. Most of us are likely here, either moved here to this area or remained in this area because we do love the rural setting, because we do love the beauty, because we do like a slower pace that the high-density areas kind of go against.
Areas of concern for me are numerous, but I'm just gonna go over a couple of them so not to take much time. The roadways, the traffic, and the upkeep, just like everybody else. Who will pay for the expansion? How far will that expansion extend? Will there be additional roads that don't touch on Highway 30, say maybe Old Clemson Highway, which is already in need of repaving with current loads? Will expansion look at total impact versus just getting people in and out of neighborhoods being built? Think how busy the intersection of 123 and 130 is right now. Now add 2,000 to 4,000 cars. I go up and down 123 every day when I go to work. I work in Seneca. I live up on 130. And, you know, it's kind of troublesome already when you're trying to get home, but add that much more in there. Without some other roads to address that, that becomes an issue. And additionally, will the roadways be clear-cut or have a large enough buffer to solve the problem of looking just exactly like what was put on 123 out towards Easley? Takeaway for me is limit the population density, and the more densely populated development should coincide with sufficiently existing roadways, of which 130 is not currently. Another issue for me is access to health care. It took me literally a year and a half to be able to get an appointment to get primary care in this area. And the gentleman who I saw spent the entire time talking to me about how overworked he was because we don't have enough doctors to handle the current load. And so that is an issue. And then think about if you need a specialist, you're probably going to be pushing out in this area because we just don't have enough healthcare workers to handle the population we currently have. With specialties, you maybe get one in Greenville, but how well does that work for our elderly population? And on the flip side, how does that work for our younger population who can't afford to take that much time off of work? Again, limit density, that might solve some of that as that infrastructure comes up. Sewage, water runoff, and the impact on the watershed is also an issue for me. The greater amount of surface area covered by impervious surfaces, which is required for building homes, has a greater impact on the watershed. Where are the impact studies? What's the plan for the sewage? Who's going to pay for it? Will there be a special election and tax assessment for sewer to our existing residents, or for those existing residents to pay for sewer to the new developments? Or will it be septic systems, which, when they fail, which is not uncommon, will be a problem? Our last home, the septic failed in the first year. Now, the builder was required to come back and fix it, but it wasn't in a timely manner, and there was runoff. Fortunately, we lived on an acre, so that solved a little bit of that. But we all know old systems fail as well. A lower density will lower that impact and its impact on the environment. That becomes even more important in a watershed. As for affordability of homes, we all know the greater price of the home, the more the developer and the realtors working with them make. Additionally, the more homes crammed into a given amount of space, the more they make. There is no reason for them to self-limit, which is why the county needs to do it. From what I have read, this ordinance does not limit our local landowners. It offers protection to our farmers from large-scale developments popping up against their land. Landowners are still free to use their land. It simply limits out-of-area developers from coming in, lining their pockets with cash, and leaving the area in the wake of destruction to deal with the mess that they made, both financially and figuratively. Thank you for your time.
Greg Barlow.
Good evening. Thanks for letting me speak. I'm Greg Barlow. I live in Salem. Wife and I have been Oconee County homeowners since 2007. I echo everything that everyone else has said before, and I'm sure you all have already taken this into account. I will say to add that in my military career in the Air Force, we had, courtesy of the Air Force, you move all around. I can give you two exact examples of what you don't want to have happen here. Las Vegas, Nevada in the early 1990s, explosive growth, rollout sizes that went down to 60 by 100, so 6,000 square feet, even smaller after that, crammed in, built up, total mess, lack of infrastructure. High school went to 3 sessions a day to accommodate, because you just can't build out to accommodate the growth that comes in here. Similar occurrence in Northern Virginia in the early 2000s, Prince William County, where we lived, in Loudoun County, Virginia, explosive growth. A lot of developers came in and could offer homes at a lower price point, but you had so many in there, they were making money hand over fist. The counties have not recovered from that yet, and the ability to provide infrastructure and services, and more importantly, the character of the county. And I think that's one of the things that you all are caretakers of, is what we look like. I mean, I don't necessarily think anyone wants us to become an Atlanta, Miami, or anything like that. you guys are here, and I trust in your good judgment that this will end up being passed because you are the caretakers of our future here, and I thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for letting me speak.
Hello, I'm Paul Lieppa. Thank you for having this opportunity. My wife and I have been blessed to be down here for 3 years. We come out of the Northeast, and my experience started here on the roads. I love to drive, and I noticed how courteous drivers were waiting. If you had the
All right, most of the comments, there's nothing we've so far seen that's going to be anything negative about this. I think most people are completely on board for this. I guess the biggest thing is there going to be a vote tonight? And while y'all are discussing that and Rainey is stuffing his face as we speak, I mean, they're still going on. They're still, we do have to, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. We do need to get in this one. There is somebody else coming back.
It's going to be just like the one
It
before
is
with
going,
the squirrels.
yep. It's going to be y'all squirrels. Selfish bastards. It's going to get worse. So hold on a minute. We're going to go ahead and bring. Oh yeah, he come back. He's just wait. Here he comes. Yep. He is going to be a proponent for Jazzy Acres. This is public hearing.
Had 22. Does anybody else like to speak?
Yep. Yes.
Oh.
Brace yourself. Here we go. Let's go for.
Make sure you've had.
For the
a good
record
drink.
again, I'm Perry Smith.
Who gives a shit?
I would like to express my gratitude for your steadfast commitment to upholding property rights in Oconee.
I knew it!
Upholding property rights. The protection of these rights is crucial for our community's prosperity and individual freedoms.
Right.
Individual
For Jazzy Acres.
freedoms.
We need to make sure people know
It's
that.
disheartening
So
to
don't be
witness
complaining.
continuous efforts
kicking me
aimed
up.
at undermining our property rights.
That's right.
As an American,
He can't even say American.
I understand the
Sounds like he's Russian.
fundamental importance of land ownership and the ability to utilize it as I see
That's right. That's right.
property rights.
Amen. Build
I commend you
high density
firm
development all the way.
in defense of these principles
Yeah.
on
Good.
behalf
I
of
agree.
all citizens that's not here today. For years, AQD
We might hire him for security.
Maybe.
has consistently
Hang on.
opposed personal property rights.
Yep.
Obstructing property owners from selling or developing their land.
I agree.
Who's AQD?
This opposition
Advocates for
is
quality
often
development.
cloaked
Good group.
under the guise of aesthetic improvements, which I find very misleading.
Oh,
Granting concessions to such requests not only jeopardizes the rights of individual property owners, but threatens the foundational
even
rights of every
read.
citizen in our
Fundament?
county.
fundification?
History shows that
I think he
yielding
said fornication.
to these demands only invites further encroachments on our property rights.
Speak it, Perry. Speak it,
We
brother.
must remain resolute in our stance against these efforts.
Hallelujah.
Even the smallest concession represents a significant erosion of our property rights.
To be a hoarder.
Now,
That's all it is.
how long have I been here?
Nobody
I was
cares.
born and raised here. I'm 54 years old. If we had a shut the barn
freaking
door,
do.
we could have kept these people out 50 years ago.
Oh!
Citizens
Whoa! Listen to
not here
this.
today.
Just rewind. Instant replay
For
from
years.
LTO.
AQD
I went a little bit
has
too far.
consistently opposed personal property rights.
Oh my God. I can't
Obstructing
believe this. Did he just
property
do that?
owners from selling or
hope they
developing
slit his
their
throat.
land.
Hold on. It's coming.
This opposition is often cloaked under the guise of aesthetic improvements. which I find very
Just
misleading.
listen.
Granting concessions to such requests not only jeopardizes the rights of individual property owners, but threatens the foundational rights of every citizen in our
Fundification.
History shows that yielding to these demands only invites further encroachments on our property rights.
No
We
zoning
must
for you.
remain resolute in our stance
here we go.
against these efforts. Even the smallest concession represents a significant erosion of our property rights.
Okay, here we go.
Now, how long have I been here? I was born and raised here. I'm 54 years old. If we had a shut the barn door, we could have kept these people out 50 years ago. If we had done it 50 years ago, they wouldn't be here. But behind me, I got all these people who want to shut down my property rights for their own selfish gain.
God, it's so sick, but it's...
I guarantee you 95% of the people behind me live in an HOA and are happy to be told what to do. I've heard the word control, slow the growth, zoning, coming from people who live in an HOA who don't mind being told what to do. But guess what? I don't want to be told what to do. My property, I paid for my land, 30 acres in the mountains. I should be able to do with it what I want without some yahoos that ain't even from around here coming here to tell me what I can and can't do. They've been trying to change the rules in this county for years.
Oh, bless his heart.
If we didn't want this, we should have done, if we didn't want this happening today, if we'd have done this 50 years ago, they would not be here. Because right now, what they're wanting you to do is they're wanting you to stop the future population, people like them, that want to move here. Y'all are going to vote for this. It needs to be killed on the spot. Because what y'all are doing is giving in to people who don't care about the future. They only care about right now and themselves. Every one of these people back here, except for Tom. You wasn't alone, Tom.
I don't know.
Personal property rights. It's what makes us Americans. It's why so many of people died coming here. To be free, to be able to do what they want.
It was a 3,000-mile walk from Honduras.
Yep.
Why did you clap?
Any other speakers?
There was only 2 people that clapped that we could see on camera.
Tony Adams, one of them.
Hi, my name is Cam Flynn. I live in Seneca. I would say that everybody's personal property rights extend only as far as the next person's personal property rights.
Yeah!
I would say that we're not proposing no growth, we're proposing controlled growth. We're not saying nobody else can come here, we're saying let's do it right. I'm in support of the proposition.
Anyone else would like to speak?
Oh, please don't.
Okay, so we received, the last tally before the meeting was 64 emails in support of the ordinance. A handful requested that they be read. The rest of the emails will be put on the record. So I'm going to now read the emails that was requested.
I'm going to try to fast forward a little bit of this.
4 or 5.
Yeah, listening to them is bad.
2 residencies per acre. If a property on-site wastewater treatment is on the screen in front of you, this is the fee in lieu of everyone.
Did they vote?
You to stop the future.
Houses have been built
Shouldn't
around
be
us,
back and forth.
development. We need to slow and construct and have been full-time residents for over 15 years. There's a need to take steps. 2024-18. Thank you. That's all. So unless anyone else would like to speak, I'll now close public hearing on ordinance 2024-18. Okay, now we move on to third reading of the following ordinances. This is ordinance 2024-16, previously read for public comment or public hearing. It's on the screen in front of you. This is the fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes, special source revenue credit for Sandvik Machining Solutions.
We're going to give away more free money for another local
Second, any
business
discussion,
That's been here
comments?
for
that's
years.
been here for years.
Hearing none, all in favor?
That is for Ed.
Next, we have ordinance 2024-18. This is the ordinance we just had the long public hearing on for.
Well, here we go,
Chapter
boys.
38, the Oconee County Code of Ordinances.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? I'd just like to say I thank everybody for coming out. I mean, it's a good turnout. So I spent just a very brief period of my life in the Charleston area.
And carried the
being
ball
from
5
6
yards.
mile Pickens area, I could not wait to leave. So I literally was ready to run for the hills. So
You should
agree with
run
everybody
now.
says we want to maintain, what we have here. But I'm afraid this really isn't the solution everybody thinks it is, just for the simple fact, what's driving this is growth. It's people moving here. And South Carolina, it's a top moved state too. I think in 46 counties, only 10's growing. And then there's a Person Curry article recently came out. I encourage y'all to go Google it. Some counties is growing a lot, like Horry County is growing like 40%, the estimate in the next 12 to 15 years. The estimate of Oconee like 8 to 10%. Well, that's guesstimates. They don't really know. But the county's growing, but
this comes from the chairman.
Who is they?
Who is they? But he also says that Oconee was not growing. Just 2 years ago, he made a statement before everything and said that Oconee was not growing.
It's right after I went to the planning commission.
Right. Oconee is not growing.
being one of the 10 growing counties is a blessing because initially right out of school, I coached football for 4 years, and I traveled the whole state of South Carolina recruiting.
Randy, did you hear that?
That he recruited for football?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places in South Carolina that's not growing. They're actually shrinking.
This is from someone that only carried the ball
5 yards.
5 yards in one game.
Oh, I thought you said he carried the ball 5,000.
No.
And the Person Curry article shows that too. And that's not what you want. That's the opposite. That's desolate. That's, poverty. That's no hope for the young people there. So fortunately, we are growing. But passing density standards isn't going to stop that growth.
Uh-oh.
People's moving here, as y'all came out and spoke from all over the country. And they're going to keep moving here. That demand's going to stay the same. Now, we may limit the supply of available lots by density standards. You're correct, we could make 2 acre, 3 acre minimum lot size. That can drive the price up, but the people that's selling a 1,200 square foot bungalow in Pennsylvania for $800,000, it ain't gonna matter to them. They're still escaping for this piece of paradise that we have here, as so many people said. And to counter it, I think it's a multi-pronged approach. We spend money to advertise the county, right? And we have Destination Oconee, other efforts, and maybe we succeeded well in making it a destination.
Nope. Oconee of the Lake Kiwi and Cassie did.
Planning Economic Development meeting that we look at those dollars spent in advertising and try to get data on where that money's spent and where it's advertised to. As somebody says, it's first step, well, it's multi-pronged. But what I'm cautioning is first steps. We can
5-yard water
restrict
boy.
and regulate. We can make the whole county look like a HOA, like Kiwi Key, and I guess that would restrict the growth of the county because it'd be like Highlands. There's nobody in Highlands from Highlands can afford to live in Highlands. The people who work in Highlands can't afford to live in Highlands. So just caution you on that. And everybody here who spoke, most of you, in the letters we have, recently moved to the area. And I say this jokingly but serious too. Y'all can have the most immediate impact on slowing the growth, right? Stop encouraging your friends and neighbors from where you came from to move here. Because you found the paradise, don't let them find it too. But one part of that, if we keep having people move here, with density standards you can increase, it may have counter effects to what we want. I mean, sprawl is an issue. If you have the same number of people wanting to move here with bigger lot sizes, that eats up more land, that's more clear cutting, that's more farmland taken.
Kick
So with
the
everything
ball
we do,
down the
there's
road,
positives.
guys.
Yeah, we can limit houses being stacked on top of each other, but there's negative attributes to that too. So it's a holistic approach.
I agree
We don't
with
want
them.
to stop growth.
Build, baby, build.
Because if you ain't growing, you're dying. And I've been to communities that's dying, that's not what we want. And I live in Mountain Rest, and if I step out on my porch, I've got neighbors from, I don't want to call them out, but from Wisconsin, New York, I even got some folks from South Africa, right? So Oconee's discovered. And this ordinance isn't going to change that. Those people are still going to be moving here. Thank you.
Well, I know where we're heading. Build, Chris. We're building.
All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make a statement. The affordable housing came up, and we all want affordable housing. And this ordinance does not affect municipalities. It only affects the non-incorporated areas of the county. Affordable housing is catered by municipalities which are equipped for density, for affordable housing. They have water, they have sewer. Most of the county outside the municipalities don't have sewer. Some of them don't have water. So this ordinance does not affect affordable housing. It does not affect the municipalities. And Mr. Durham, I think you ran on passing this ordinance. Sounds like you're against it now, so I don't know, but thank you.
Hey! Another lie from a liar.
Yeah. Yep.
People moving here. I mean, right, so prices will go up. I don't know how much, right? If you restrict supply, prices do change. And it appears the people moving here have the money to pay the rise in prices. But I'm not opposed to the ordinance. I intend to vote for it. I think there's other things that we do need to look at going forward to help manage the growth, and that's what the citizens, both newcomers and people who's lived here their whole life, would like to see.
John just put him right on the spot, didn't he?
So he plans to vote for the ordinance. Let's see it.
4-0.
He just doesn't think it'll work. Is that what he's saying?
If y'all want to stay the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to. If y'all want to leave, I'll take a brief pause so y'all can.
It passed. 4-0.
They passed it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, things ain't going to go well for Perry Smith tonight. I guarantee you he'll be shaking the fist at some people tonight.
Do you really think he actually gives a shit?
No, he doesn't. No.
But this really didn't offer that much, though.
I mean, he proved, it was completely proven there just listening to the comments tonight. He didn't care. I mean.
Well, one, he didn't write that. He was having trouble reading it. So, puppet is he? And you talk about people telling somebody what to do. He was just doing what he was told.
I'm telling you, Richard's got it. I agree with Richard. With the forecasted explosive growth now, Jazzy Acres, we're going to think about needing to put a private airport in.
You know
A
what?
helipad.
Both.
They've already put in an airport in Long Creek.
So why don't we just
let's go ahead. We're done with the council.
Okay, so Randy was there in November of 2022 when I went before the Planning Commission to talk about infrastructure being destroyed, growth coming, and that we needed to do something because people would be forced out of their homes. He was there. Then I was attacked afterwards. Perry Smith threatened me. It was just, so anyways, and that's where I even talked about Woodruff Road. Well, you know what? Then we've talked about this for some years, right?
That's correct.
And all of a sudden, in fact, after that meeting, Durham got so worried, he wrote a letter to the council. He wasn't on, he was
suspended.
On council? He was suspended, but
suspended
does that
at the
mean
time.
on council? But anyways, so he wrote that there was no growth. Well, that was a lie. And everybody said, yeah, so they didn't do anything. Now let's fast forward to the last couple of weeks. You guys put these guys back in office. So we did our best. We stood up. All of us stood up, and they attacked us. Well, you know what? And then the past couple of days, these nasty comments that we've gotten on our site. Well, you can't do this, you do that. I got news, folks.
Oh, we got threatened to be sued.
We can do, yes. You can do what you want. We have a right. In fact, I'm going to tell you guys something that you're never going to believe. I've had people private message me, 3 out of Mountain Rest, offering property. I will never mention their name. And we're going to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you something else with all this. You guys, what was the name of that place? Esquire, Empire, whatever, over by the pizza place in Tri-County? The strip joint, what was the name of that?
That was Elite Show Club.
So you want to talk about things around here? Do you realize there are developers right now talking about a couple of high-end strip clubs in Oconee County? You can't do anything about it because these guys will not protect anything. And because you won't do anything other than you wouldn't even support our friends that went to council and when we went to planning commission, but you don't like it. Well, I got news, tough. We are going to help people. We are going to build several complexes with several thousand manufactured homes to help people out. And I will not be ashamed to tell you, we're going to make money on it. And we are going to do it with honor, and we're going to do it legal. And if somebody wants to threaten, like I was in 2010 when I talked about zoning and the guy got put in jail, have at it. Because this council just voted for something that was nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. And we're going to make it. We're going to make the money.
Well, we're just,
and
we
I'm
are
trying
taking,
to get Kathy to join us.
We are taking a playbook and a page, and we're for once
Exercising our American rights.
We're listening to Perry Smith.
Mhm.
Perry has guided us with wisdom that tonight he even dressed up to present this wisdom. And we listened attentively to his wording tonight. Blah, 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 blah. And we're ready. Perry, we hear you, brother. So Chris and I and Randy right now, we have joined the force. We shall bring single-wide trailers to Oconee County. We're going to stack them one on top of the other because guess what? It's an American right for us to do as we see fit with our property.
And let me add one thing for those. Wait, just one last thing.
I got to check something. I want to check. The USDA has an approved loan map for rural development.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to look and see if my application for the 30-unit complex in Mountain Rest has gone through.
Now, are you planning on doing the stackable containers?
No, I'm not. It's going to be handicap accessible and everything. It's going to have elevators.
Yeah. I mean, listen, folks, it's a free-for-all.
It is.
We cannot talk about zoning on this program because if you talk about zoning, you can't.
They won't do zoning.
No zoning.
And what Perry Smith is talking about, these property rights and all this crap about HOAs, guys, what he just did is just re-explain to you why we are small potatoes. We're talking about 15,000 units is all. You got these mega players coming here. And here's the thing that you're not going to like, but it's true. There are 2 investors that have just signed an NDA with us. And we're in discussions. And these guys have deep pockets. There is a huge market, and people know it. So thank you for sitting on the sidelines because we're going to get further ready for retirement, and we're going to make some money, and we're going to help people. There's nothing you can do about it.
I've been asked to do something again. Blah, 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 blah. Richard.
Is that fundamental?
Richard Belmore brings up a very good point, and we may reach out to them to find out. It would be a very safe bet. We could get Pub Blue to go in with our development. And we could, that way, Perry, we could look after him. He could stay up there and drink all he wants. And, he could walk home if, blah, blah, blah,
You could get him a golf cart.
He could shoot pool in one of our community centers.
Oh, no, he'd run off the side of the mountain. Blah, 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 blah.
You know what? Here's the thing.
No,
we have fun. You know, we're talking about, but let's just pass this fun stuff aside and just be open.
Let's be
about this.
serious.
We're already in talks. Jeff's already had a conversation with a large company that's not in South Carolina.
No, they're in North Carolina. They're based out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
And we're looking at these single wides. They're not. They're good. They're safe. Not the fanciest, but people need homes. And as we line up these investors, you know, you're getting the development anyways. You're going to not be able to drive much around here. We're just talking about adding some cement and putting in a goal over the next couple of years, 15,000 homes for good people.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I'm talking anywhere between a $750, $850 a month range for these trailers.
Exactly.
For rent.
So
affordable housing.
What's the credit score going to need to be for these folks to move in?
They don't have to have a credit score. I just want their money. They deposit first month. It'll be a rental, and if they choose to buy their own, they can buy it.
Are you going to have any background checks done? Are we going to know?
Well,
Sure. When we get to that point,
we're not even in.
We're
that
not
yet.
in that ballpark yet.
What we're trying to do now, Randy, is
Look,
get the price.
we are taking.
These are questions that we need to be multi-focused. We need to come at this in different directions and make sure we get it right.
We will.
We will.
Those are questions in the detail. If we know we can get the financing to make it happen, then those are the other things that we can actually.
But I really believe that you'll get the best financing if you embrace things like DEI, and make sure you're bringing diversity.
Oh no, that's all going away. Yeah, all that stuff's going away.
We'll have diversity.
We'll
We've got
do
plenty.
whatever we want. We're going to help people.
We're going to help people. That's the deal. Because there's nobody can afford a $800,000 to $1 million home.
Mm-hmm.
But yet we've got people that are working their rear ends off that are even affording to try or having a struggle to find affordable housing, period. So I think if we can find something for $750, $850 a month, that to me is a very affordable housing given the market and the climate.
I think I think you're kind of low.
I don't care. I am out to help people.
Over in Clayton.
Because guess what? Can I tell you something? The government's going to help me the rest of the way.
Well, I agree.
The government's going away,
but
right?
Here's the thing.
Well, that's true.
Over in Clayton, you go take 76 into Clayton, go up and
That
over
was
Main
my
Street,
point.
come around by the county building.
I've seen that.
Up on the hill, it's called Blue Ridge Development or something like that. They're all duplexes, and they're all one bedroom, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And they're going for $1,600 a month.
Right.
So
we've got a lot of detail.
But here's the other deal. The only way you're going to ever curtail the growth, if you don't do zoning now, you will never be able to do it.
Well, that's what they said about.
It's too late for us. We're
going forward.
You know what? And you'll find as other these people talking about SUDA, go for it.
So all of these people that put the hate comments on our Facebook page, why don't you show up instead of sitting behind the keyboard? Why don't you take a little trip to 415 South Pine Street in Walhalla and show up for a county council? Because, like I said,
they like the
lake,
drama.
The lake people and a few folks from Highway 130, they showed up. But yet, remember, blah, 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 blah. Behind blah 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 blah. God, I swear, if he's 54 years old, there's help for me. Yeah, he looks like he's damn 70.
But the thing about it is, between him, Durham is the one that laid the groundwork for this.
Yes.
Smith and these guys, what they've done is they've held it off long enough. We have 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy's got some good ideas. You do. I do,
they've
but I don't have the
allowed,
details.
22 or 24 developments already to happen.
Well, today, 122 was voted last night in the Seneca Planning Commission by a vote of 5-1. Seneca is getting ready to annex 122 new homes into the city with the intention that there's another development just across the street on Highway 59 South Oak Street and Wells Highway that could bring up to 500 to 600 more homes.
Great Southern Homes has bought up all the Mill Hill, and they're going to.
Well, this ain't Great Southern Homes. This is Ryan Homes.
But I just know that there's multiple companies down there that are doing this.
And we've got a different niche, though.
And where do all the people go when they buy up places like that?
What do you mean? The people that are
When
selling?
the people that lived on the Mill Hill,
Probably
where did they
Florida.
go? Because there are
Nowhere.
Florida,
But no,
because they don't have anywhere to go. Because there were actually people that owned Mill Hill houses and had lived there their entire family.
Well, there's
had lived
nowhere to push. Hey, there's nowhere to push the Mill Hill, because if you push it to the opposite side, there's a housing development on the backside of the Mill Hill now.
Yeah.
Utica, was it Utica Station?
What happens is they go to Westminster, and they go to Fairplay, and they go to Townville, and then they go to Anderson County, where it's a little bit cheaper, and they just keep moving. Most of the folks that I know that used to live in Highlands or Cashers now live down here because they can't afford the taxes.
Well,
let me tell you, you keep building $300,000 homes in Oconee County.
And ours won't be that.
But listen, they're coming. And all that's going to do is drive the tax rate higher and higher and higher for all of us. And eventually, the youngins that we have that can't decide whether they want to pay property tax or lawyers for DUIs are going to have to move on.
Well, I do want to add some other things.
But we're not going to be landlords.
Well,
we're developers. I'm not going to, you see, we got. Well, wait a minute. We've got a lot of ideas that we're kicking around. The first thing is get the financing in place, and we'll talk.
I'm going to be the landlord. My project is a landlord.
And Jeff and I can have different things. I want to be building out the infrastructure, and then be able to do a turnover, because I can make good money. I can make it fast.
I can make money off Duke Power.
Yeah.
So because all the people that come in for outages are looking for places to stay. For example,
short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals. For example,
And there
in
are
Jazzy Acres, I could set aside 100 to 150 camping lots, which are small in size. Okay, I can make 200 a week for the camping, for just folks that's bringing their campers in to stay for an outage.
Or if you just had campers that were ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of options.
Cleaned and ready.
But my goal is not to sell something for $300,000 and $400,000. My goal is to help someone that is working, trying to make a living, doing the best they can under circumstances where they can't afford that $300,000 or $400,000, but they want a safe place to live. That's my goal. I want homes for people that they can live in, because right now, for the low and there's no homes.
Exactly. So we're both trying to accomplish the same thing, because we're going after a niche, because all these other developers are coming here looking at these
They're
things.
looking at the 500,000 to 600,000 range, and I'm just looking for the everyday local people that has having a problem trying to find homes, that can't somewhere to live.
But the thing is, what is the same thing for us is if these developers is land.
Listen, I know we've talked about the development, but there's a couple of other things that I want to get to.
So there you go, everybody.
Because we're going to wrap up. We've been here for almost 2 hours on the show.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, we're going to address an elephant in the room tonight, and I want to be clear and concise when I say this. Yes, an assassination attempt on any person is bad enough, okay? If it had happened to Joe Biden, I would feel the same exact way. But in this country, we have a problem. We have a problem. It's getting worse. And for people to get on social media and the comments that I have seen, I don't give a damn who it is. It's absolutely showing the evil that has forked in this country. And I am so sick of it. It's just getting to the point that, can we not somehow, some way get along? I'm going to take a verbiage out of Rodney King from 1991. Can't we just get along? Can we not, as a society, as decent humans, get along? Because I'm telling you, it's getting worse and worse and worse. The evil that is lurking in this world right now. I am so sorry that, a president got shot. That's something to me that's really very important. And if it had been Joe Biden or if it had been anybody, but we're talking the president, there's supposed to be a little bit of respect, even though where you may not like him, you may hate his guts. but a president of the United States, the supposed leader of the free country, of the free world, gets shot. And there's so many things. Well, he was a president.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a president. Doesn't matter if he's ex or not.
He did not
deserve.
I agree.
Anything.
I agree.
If it was an ex-president or a current president,
agree.
They should not. And then the things after, and again, this became of age. You know, like I take a look at this with John F. Kennedy, is that television and media came of age during that fateful day in November back in Dallas, Texas, because you were live, you were there on the scene. But watching all of this unfold and going back later, there is just so many questions. Just like John F. Kennedy, there are so many questions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think we'll ever get any answers of how, when, and why. On top of that, we had a citizen that was killed involved in this. But the reaction that I saw from the Secret Service was one of disorganization. And again, we may never know the whole answer. But I'm just telling you, anybody like that, anything, and even the shooters, I mean, it's there for the world to see. It's there. If you have not seen it, you'll go search it. You can find the picture.
Right. So,
but I'm just really concerned of where we're headed in this country, and it looks like things are just it's getting worse. And I wanted to address that elephant in the room.
Okay, so you're going to give us all an opportunity.
Yes, I'm going to give everybody an opportunity.
So let me go next. Jeff and I agree on some key points on this. This violence is killing this country. And I'm going to tell you something that has happened to me over the last couple of months, how I feel. I still read about the news, but I've tuned it out because it was getting harder and harder. And there is no excuse. Nobody should be shot. I mean, that's just that we're losing the country. But I have told people since we have this show, if you push hate so much on people and they sit there and adulate a person that's talking about and mocking a man who had his skull fractured because they could not find Nancy Pelosi, and then you have a crowd that laughs, the country, and I'm not talking about Democrats or Republicans, I'm talking about people. When you have people that never would act like that before, breathing it, living it, mocking a man that 81 years old with a skull shattered, and then you have the same crap from other people, you're killing this country. And what's happened is, and you see it on the Democratic side, they're changing too. I'm scared to death. And I'm going to tell you something, guys, and this is the honest God truth, and I've told my family this. I do not believe this country is going to survive by 26 in its current state. I don't believe it. I don't care who wins.
I agree. I
agree. I'm telling you that never in a million years would I have thought that this country, the biggest superpower, and here's the thing that people don't realize. When you have a major superpower that people feel is becoming unstable, you have problems with your allies too, because that scares the hell out of them. So what we need to do is we need to quit this crap. We need to quit the hate, and we need to call people out who are doing it. And you get Marjorie Taylor Greene on there, and she's talking about calling all Democrats pedophiles and blaming the shooting. I mean, who does this stuff? Randy knows. I've been talking about this hate. This pure hate is killing us. And I'm done. Go ahead. Kathy, you want to talk?
Do you want to go first?
Well, you know, it's a sad time when you can't gather and protest without the expectation of violence.
That's right.
And Bridget Jenkins just posted there, extremism triggers further extremism. It absolutely does. You can't get that many people together constantly without expecting something like this to happen. It's sad. It's tragic. a civilian lost their life, and an ex-president was shot. I don't know if he was shot or hit by glass or whatever, but it was tragic. Absolutely was. And there's no room left in America for that kind of action. None. And we see it here locally. And then you see when citizens call it out, and in county council meeting tonight, it was just like, oh no, you're more vile than me. And there's no more vile and wretched a man than Matt Durham. But he's calling these two ladies vile. Come on. So it's not going to stop because of people like Matthew Durham. And they're everywhere. Whoever wrote Perry's speech tonight,
blah, 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 blah.
That guy, is very eloquent. He's obviously educated, but he's not paying attention to the fact that there's more people on this earth than extreme right-wing white conservative men. And I feel like, there was a time that I enjoyed being that kind of person. But I got to tell you, those people make me sick and make me really feel like I was a terrible person for feeling the way I did. But this Trump thing, this shooting, it was terrible. There's no getting around that. And it wouldn't have mattered if it was Biden or Obama or Bush or whoever. We have to at least acknowledge the fact that the man has the right for free speech to stand up there and say whatever he wants to without fear of being shot, without fear of some asshole telling everybody else to confront an old elderly man in public in front of his grandkids. We really do need to take a step back and look at what we've created for ourselves. Because the Chinese, the Mexicans, the Hondurans, the Japanese, the Germans, they didn't do any of this to us. We did it to ourselves.
We did it to ourselves.
We did it to ourselves. Because why? You people moved here because we left the gates open, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as you people. There wasn't a black person in there in that whole county council meeting. Not a one. And all these white folks fighting over what? For what?
The right to be here.
The right to be here. Well, the thing about it is, you go back 250 years ago, this year, we're going to have the American Revolution anniversary, right? Well, after the American Revolution, what happened? We started running the Indians off, right? Well, here's the thing. We took the land, ran the Indians off right here. And it's on this Land O'Lakes thing. Now, why couldn't we get along with them? Because they was barbarians, heathens, they were primitive, what? But this is all our own doing, what's going on in America now. And Chris, you're right. Unless something else happens, unless we find somebody else that can do the job presidential and unite the country, I don't think we make it to 2026 either.
Kathy?
Well, I don't think anybody should be shot. The person that was shot and killed was Corey, and I'm going to butcher his name, Comparator, a father, a husband, a volunteer fire chief, and he shielded his family. That's not said. And this is what I take issue with. Trump was hit with a piece of glass. And here's the issue that people are upset about. And this is why people are saying vile things. Because he stood up not knowing if there was any more shooters, any bombs or anything else. And that man's first thought was to say, fight, fight, fight. And incite more. And that's how we got here. He takes no responsibility for what he's created here. And that's the way I feel about it. And he brings out the worst and has brought out the worst in this country. You look at the footage and there are his supporters. They didn't flinch. I went back and I watched shootings, which is kind of a psycho thing to do. But I remember when Reagan was shot and the Secret Service and everybody on the street was on the ground. You look at other shootings, people get on the ground and they run. Not these folks. What has happened to us? They didn't even run. They're up looking and filming and flipping the bird out of rage and hate. Very few people are even looking at this poor man who died or trying to help. Now, and I've gone and looked at it. What is wrong, man? What is wrong? And then I don't know how true the reports are, but I've looked through media and read, he hasn't reached out to that poor man's family. That man died being there to support him. And he went and golfed the next day. I mean, we're in trouble, y'all. We're in trouble. That is no humanity there.
That's the word right there.
Empathy.
No, humanity.
I mean, because you think about it, if you look at other shootings, people are going, is everybody okay? Are we safe? And his first words are fight, fight, fight. What is wrong?
I appreciate you bringing it home because you said exactly what I knew you could say and what you were going to say, because you're exactly right. We all four of us sitting here, all come from collectively different backgrounds. We come from different areas, from walks of life. But at the end of the day, it's a humanity problem. And I'm with you, Chris. I believe that if things don't change it by 2026, the country in which we grew up in, which I grew up in, we all grew up in, from the first days it was taught, going to school, the Constitution, respect people, the simple basic things of humanity. That's what we're missing. And it's a travesty and it's a shame. But that's my point that I was making too, is about, I don't think we'll ever know, but there was just so much weirdness watching that. If you take a look at 1963 and John F. Kennedy compared to this one, the country was together. They were concerned. They loved one another. They cried on each other's shoulder. And this one, the only thing I can remember seeing is that fist holding up. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I made a post on my Facebook page is because I believe that photo is the most significant photo of the 21st century, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think that photo represents the downfall of the United States of America. That's where we're at.
It's not about policy.
It's not about policy. It's not about politics. I think this problem is a whole lot bigger, and I don't know.
It's about the country.
It's about the country. It's about losing the country.
And that's why I've changed in the last few months, because
we cannot collectively sit here and have a conversation about things and have disagreements, and because we feel like one other is sided. And I appreciate all of us here. We've had our ups and downs, and I think it's been a growing pain between all of us to learn how each other feels, but we did. Mm-hmm. And we're in a situation where tonight is the first time that we have been able to sit down and have a conversation of a national importance. And for that, I'm appreciative to all of you. And I appreciate it. Kathy, I appreciate you making those comments because they're heartfelt and where you're coming from. And I completely understand. So there is light at the end of the tunnel for us. We can have the conversations and we can agree to disagree. And that's what, to me, makes America so great, is that from all walks of life, if people could just sit and talk, all you have to do is sit and talk. And maybe we could just understand and grow and move on. But I don't have to put up with the right wing or the left wing nuts either. We're just common people going through life, and we're concerned about our country. We're concerned about our county, and we love it. And with that, I'm going to end the show. If anybody wants to do anything for the final.
Just, it comes down to dignity and respect for each other.
Exactly.
And that I'll hold on to that for the rest of my life. Dignity and respect.
I agree. Kat, go ahead, Kathy. I'm going to go ahead with you.
That's it.
And Chris.
My thing, and this is what I think about most at night when I go to bed, my kids, my grandkids, my family, what my father went through, World War II. I think about what Randy went through, what my son-in-law went through, all of us and how we grew up, and it hurts. I know how I can get. I have changed because I have that hate, and I hear it, and I'm like, God, you got to quit that. Because I even said back in 15, I said, this is going to, it was easy. I'm not that smart. It was just like you could smell it. You could see it. And I talked to you about it, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you over a year ago, I said, I think we're going to get through it. Randy and I have talked about it, and Kathy. For the first time, the very first time in the last 6 months, I do not think, and I'm not being a pessimist, this is hurtful to me to say, I do not think this country is going to stay together. I really don't. With the attacks on the Department of Justice, with the Supreme Court doing this, with the constant hate being tossed around, with all this stuff, and I apologize to everybody for saying it. It's not being mean or ugly. I'm just telling you, for my family, for my friends, these guys that I become very, very close to, and I'm blessed to have at my age, I don't hold much hope, and that's just the way I feel.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. As long as I'm alive and as long as I can breathe, I'm going to be here. I'm going to continue to tell the story of Oconee. We collectively are going to continue to point out the injustice of things that are happening here in Oconee. And I, right frankly, don't give a damn what the FCC thinks of me. I don't care what Perry Smith says. I don't care about Matt Durham. What I do care about is the countless silent majority that is out there in Oconee that doesn't have a voice. They're afraid to say something for a fear of being attacked. At this point in my life, I don't care if I'm attacked or not. I will get up in the morning, I will go to bed at night, and as long as it's my time to stay on earth, that's where I'm going to be. But this show will continue for another year. I renewed myself for another year with y'all. I think that we've got a lot more to share. I think we've got a lot more to talk about in coming weeks. Y'all are attacking pretty good on the Facebook page, and I want y'all to keep that up too, by the way. Keep attacking. Y'all doing a good job. The more you attack, the more money we make. With that being said, it's over. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining us. Are we going to do a show Sunday night?
We can do it.
Ready?
I'd like to.
Are you good for Sunday?
Yeah.
Back at normal time, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, because if you can, I'll take it.
We got a lot to talk about. This development stuff is going to be great.
Well, we also have to talk about the future of the cat bus, and it's not looking too good right now.
Really?
There's a major things happening.
I think we can get probably some more investments to bring that, because it needs to come to Mountain Rest.
What, cat bus?
Yeah.
Can we do a drop off there at Matt's house? Since apparently people up there taking pictures of his house.
I really think that the corner lot there on Whetstone and Stuger Ridge, there's a vacant field there. Probably make a good spot for a bus station.
I'm interested about that comment.
Which one is that?
People taking pictures of his house.
Yeah,
that
you
could
can
be anything.
you can go get it on Google Earth.
You know what? What would be really funny is if somebody took some pictures of his house and put them on Zillow for sale. that would be funny.
No, that's criminal.
But
you can't do that. That's criminal conduct.
But think about the cat bus. You think about
Not if they're in Japan.
Did he go to the Criminal Justice Academy?
Who?
All of a sudden? Matt.
No, but he's been a part of the criminal justice system.
He knows it from inside and out.
Oh, God.
Hey, guys, we gotta go.
Wait. Think about those 15,000 homes.
I know.
What are we going to do? You can't have all these. This is the problem we got to solve. You can't have
Golf
all
carts.
these cars. You got to start
Yeah,
public
those big golf
transportation.
carts like they have in Disneyland
Yeah,
and stuff.
truck.
Turn it
Yeah.
into Fripp Island.
All right. Bye, Chris.
Bye.
You know where to go with the crew in control. Oconee's got the flow, community and heart make the whole town glow. Tune in, turn up, let Oconee show. Let's go, let's talk, let's groove, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Oconee love from dusk till dawn. County Ferris, Kathy, Rainey, and Jeff by the pond. Join the chat, feel the bond. Come on. Come on, jumping in the mix, Chris breaking down news. Kathy's got the vibe, she's never gonna lose. Ronnie's got the insight with Jazzy's funky cues. Talking Oconee style, we got nothing to refuse. On the beat drop slow, you know where to go with the crew in control. Oconee's got the flow, community and heart make the whole town glow. Tune in, turn up, let Oconee show. Let's go, let's talk, let's groove, let's get it on. Let's groove, let's get it on.